and I had you speak with him. I know you said in that regard. Let's put it on the record so we can hear.
And we just indicated that it was the people's request. It's not a court order. It's just a request that for that names and likenesses not be published, and if one's going to be published, not the other. It's just a request, and I believe that the other media who was here also clarified with the media that is present today. And so it's just a request on our part. There's no court orders at this time regarding any sort of news coverage.
Okay, thank you. That being said, please continue.
Thank you. Ms. Samuels, was there a time when, do you have someone who works on your lawn?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a time when there was an incident with that person?
Yes, it was.
Can you please tell us about that?
Okay. What I can tell you is that the bridge that's over the freeway, it connects Bayless on both sides, which is one of the main streams for kids walking and just walkers or whatever. And the young man that I'm, telling you about that cuts the grass, the dog actually chased him, and it's not hearsay. These are things that I've actually seen.
Okay. So when you saw this happen, did you see this one happen once or more than once?
No, I only saw that once.
Okay. Was that individual walking, on a bicycle, in a car? How were they going?
He was on a bike.
Okay. And is that a bicycle that you pedal or like a motorcycle?
It was a regular bicycle that you pedal.
Okay. And you said that you actually saw the dog. Was it one dog or more than one dog?
No, it was one.
Okay. And from your familiarity, was it one of the dogs that lives in the house on the corner?
Yes,
Again,
it was.
Judge, all these leading questions, I've been kind of sitting back, but I'm going to continue to object that they continue to be leading.
Well, in your Honor, part of it is clarification. She's testified. I'm asking for clarification. But for the sake of also economy, I'm moving for clarification, and so it's not like I'm leading her towards new information.
Clarity means that she said it before.
Yes.
You're somewhat summarizing it.
Yes.
But what counsel's saying is you're leading.
Okay.
Which is, I'm not saying that what he's saying is true. I'm just saying that's his objection. So let's not get it mixed up with clarity. I'm hoping that's not the case. He's saying that your questions are leading. If they are leading, we all know you're not supposed to. Please refrain from doing so.
Okay.
If you are summarizing what's said, that's a whole different thing. And just please continue.
Okay. So tell us what you saw that day.
Okay, the young man was on a bike. And
I apologize to the witness for, can we have a time frame? I don't know when she's talking about of this event. I don't have a clue.
When was this incident?
this was earlier in the summer.
Okay.
This was early in the summer, which goes back to they were smaller, because I've seen these puppies. So there was no direct fear when my kids came to me and said, Miss, like the football kids, Miss Lala, the dogs got out, or Mama, the dogs got out. So there was no direct fear, because in my mind they were still puppies.
Okay. Did you only see puppies at that residence, or did you see other dogs too?
There were other dogs too.
Okay.
There were other dogs.
When you saw the dog, the incident over the summer, with the lawn guy, the man who cuts your grass, tell us specifically about that dog.
That dog specifically, it was more playful. And he would kick at the dog, and the dog would then turn around and go back, and then go back underneath the fence.
Okay.
So at that point, they were playful.
What do you mean by playful?
The dog would chase him, and after he would get so far, it was like there was no vicious attack. He didn't feel directly threatened from what
Well, okay. So you can't tell us what someone felt or said, but you can tell us what you observed.
I observed the dog chasing him.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you observe Do you know which dog it was?
No,
Okay. Do you know if it was a big dog or a little dog?
it was a smaller one,
Okay. And was that inside or outside of the fence?
outside the fence.
Okay. Was there an owner around?
No,
And did you see this happen? You said you only saw this happen one time.
with that guy, yes.
Okay. And you said that the dog was chasing him and he kicked the dog?
Yeah, he kicked at him,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And then when he kicked at the dog, what happened to the dog?
The dog turned around and went back to the residence.
Okay. Okay. And the other, I know that you did testify that there were other incidents where you saw the dogs chasing people. When would you see these incidents?
It would be in the morning because I would sit on the porch with my, watch my kids go to school.
And in time frame, like, I know you said the one was earlier in the summer.
Yes, okay, with this incident with my kids, they were, I'm trying to think, school was still in session, so I have to say right about September,
Okay.
because they were riding their bikes.
Are we talking about 2015?
Yes, it's 2015.
Were any of the incidents of the dogs chasing that you personally witnessed any time other than 2015?
No.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Your witness for cross-examination, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Sorry, Mr. Villabone, I changed my paper.
Absolutely. May I have the exhibits, please, the photographs?
Do you want all of them?
Please. Thank you. I'm sorry? I was just putting the exhibits in the order, they were not in the order, but,
Okay. My reporter is ready when you are.
oh, thank you, yes. Yeah. Good morning, Ms. Sanders.
Good morning.
You and I have never talked or seen each other before today. Would that be an accurate statement?
No, it's not an accurate statement.
Oh, you saw me yesterday?
I saw you yesterday.
Okay, all right, but we didn't exchange any greetings or any words? You
No.
never talked to me and I never talked to you, is that
No.
right? Okay. I wasn't disrespectful to you, was I?
Oh,
Okay. You know that I represent Mr. Lyons, is that right?
yes.
And you also know that I have a responsibility to ask questions about what you know, what you saw, what you heard, and some of the information you testified when the prosecutor was asking you questions. You know that that's my duty and my obligation.
Exactly.
Okay. So, and I say that because I don't want to be disrespectful to you in any way. Sometimes I'm loud, sometimes I'm not loud. So I'm asking not to take it personally if I get into a role and get a little loud, okay?
I won't.
All right. And if at any time you want to stop, please just tell us to stop, okay?
Okay.
All right. If I understand what you've told us, Ms. Samuels, you have lived in this neighborhood for at least 3 years, is that right?
At least, yes.
And would you agree with me, Ms. Samuels, that this neighborhood is, and I don't mean to degrade the neighborhood, but it's kind of bad and kind of ragged, isn't it?
In the 3 years I've been there, I've only lived there 3 years. But I've actually been in that same neighborhood for 12 years transporting, and even at that, we're a close-knit neighborhood. So
Okay.
it's one of those things what you see is not what I see.
Okay. But let me then be a little bit more clear. A number of vacant and abandoned houses?
Yeah, it was as of last summer until the city knocked them down, yes.
Yeah, so from, say, calendar year 2015, the number of vacant houses and vacant lots increased substantially.
Of course.
Okay. And I know that you are familiar with the area of Bayless and the service drive, but you're also familiar with the area behind that Bayless Street, is that right?
Which area are you describing?
I guess it would be north of Bayless.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay. And you're also familiar with the alley that runs behind your house and also runs behind where Mr. Lyons resides at Bayless.
Not directly, because you're speaking alley. I don't do alley.
Okay. You were nonetheless familiar with the area of the house on Bayless, as well as the service drive, as well as the bridge that goes over into the lodge crossover. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I'm going to show you, just to make sure that we're talking about the same location, okay? What's already been admitted. This is already evidence, okay?
Okay.
It's been admitted as actually the prosecution's exhibit. This is exhibit number 3. Are we talking about the same house?
Yes, we are. We're
Okay.
talking about the same house.
This is exhibit number 3. That's the same house, right?
Yes, it's the same
And
house.
would it be accurate to say that that front of the house is well covered by a high iron fence?
Yes.
Okay. And you've never gone up to the house to knock on the door, have you?
You can't.
Okay. You've never gone to the house to ring on the bell, have you?
You can't.
Okay. And the reason you can't is why?
Because it's completely surrounded by a wrought iron fence.
Okay.
The mailman doesn't even go that
Well, you
far.
can't talk about what the mailman says. I didn't ask you.
No, I'm not
Okay.
saying what he's saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
But you can, if you would answer my question,
go right ahead.
I appreciate that very much. Now, I'm going to show you then what's been marked and already admitted as defense exhibit, excuse me, this would be the prosecutor's exhibit number 9. That exhibit, that also shows part of the premises, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And that part of the premises, to be more specific, shows the area of the gate where it connects with a white wooden fence. Is that right?
Right. I'm not sure if it's wooden, but yes.
Okay. Well, the white fence, whatever material it is not really relevant. It's a white fence. Is that right?
Yes.
And that white fence connects the wrought iron gate that opens up to go into the yard by way of a paved cement driveway. Is that correct?
No, that's not right.
Okay. What do you remember it being?
This is not a driveway. This is a walkway.
Okay.
This is the gate where the police gain entry to take Xavier out.
Okay. And so that's the door that leads from the iron gate into the premises. Is that
Yes,
right?
yes.
Into the backyard of the premises. Is that right?
Yes, it's one of them.
Okay. I grabbed the wrong exhibit. Let me
Okay.
show you exhibit number 4. Okay. Does that show the white fence and also running in the area of the, I guess it would be, and that also reflects the fact that it's all fenced in with a iron fence. Is that right?
That's right.
Then it also shows the white fence, whatever material it may be. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And does it also show you where it ends near the alley?
Not quite.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been admitted as defense exhibit number C and ask you whether this picture helps you in testifying as to what that location looked like from the iron fence that comes from the front of the house to the white wooden fence to the fence that continues to where the alley begins.
Yes, this is more direct with along the side of the house on the service drive.
Okay. So that would be in the area of running north and south on the service drive. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you see at the end of that picture where the white fence ends and another set of metal or iron gate or some kind of cyclone fence begins?
Yes.
Okay. And then you see the alley, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. And all of that accurately reflects the condition of the premises on the date of December the 2nd of 2015, correct?
Correct.
All right. I'm going to show you now what has been admitted as Defense Exhibit B and ask you whether this particular picture helps you in telling the judge under oath that the condition of the alley and the iron fence and the area where the dogs were kept.
Yes, the dogs are, I've seen the dogs in this pen.
I'm sorry?
I've seen the dogs in this pen.
All right, so that would be the pen with that's kind of like a dog run, is that right?
If you would call it that.
Well, what would
yes.
you call it?
I call it a pen.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And can you take this red?
See what,
Yes, please.
No, it's... Okay, and before you give me back the pen, I'm going to show you what's been admitted as Defendant's Exhibit A and ask you whether you would agree that that exhibit is a larger, closer upshot of the pen area that you just described for the court in the record.
Yes, this is it.
Okay, now, looking at that, would it be accurate to say that that particular area that you call the pen has two fences? It has the white fence, then it has a cyclone fence, as it runs parallel to the alley, or on the alley.
Yeah, as it runs parallel to the alley, yes, you could say it is, there would be two, the iron and then the white fence.
All right, and the iron would be, strike that, the white fence would be the one closest to the alley, correct?
Correct.
And then you would have the iron fence, is that right?
That's
Or some
right.
metal fence of some kind, right?
Right.
Okay, and that runs the whole length of the, what you call the pin, all the way to the end of the premises, correct?
Correct.
And then you can see that it runs to the back of the to the house from the alley, is that right?
Yes.
In other words, that pin runs both north and south, as well as it runs east and west, is that correct?
That's not correct.
No? Okay.
No, it doesn't run
Oh, it doesn't show
completely.
that in the picture. All right.
No, because what's adjacent to here is the automatic gate.
Okay.
This is the pen here, and then the pen extends down along the property in the back of the house.
Okay, so let me then give you back Defense Exhibit B and tell me whether that assists you in answering the question that I posed, that the gate, the pin area runs parallel, double fence to the alley, and then it runs parallel to, I guess it'd be running east to west on the rear of the home. Is that right?
I could agree with that.
Okay. Do you need to see it, Madam Prosecutor? No? Okay. And likewise, on Defense Exhibit B, are you able to also see that is reflected in a smaller way on Defense Exhibit C?
Your Honor, I would object at this time. We've had this objection many times. These photos speak for themselves. He's not asking her about where she was, her involvement. It's been objected to when the people, and sustained when the people were asking about the specifics of the location.
What's the objection, Judge?
So, the objection is that it's cumulative, it's repetitive, and that the court has held that the pictures speak for themselves, and so there's no reason to be questioning the witnesses on what's in the pictures over and over again unless there's information that's not in the pictures that's being asked about. And that's not what's being asked about, and I would ask that the court be consistent in its sustaining objections. And so I would ask that we move forward with this line of questioning as the defense has requested previously. The pictures, the video, it speaks for itself.
May, that's a long objection to say that it's what?
Pictures speak for themselves.
Okay, this is cross-examination, Judge. This witness has never been asked by me any questions regarding the premises. I need to clarify what these pictures reflect. 3 years is able to observe, because there's some other issues that I need to establish in my way of foundation.
And
So,
further,
I'm not finished yet, Madam Prosecutor. So, Judge, if you believe that it's cumulative, then so you can rule. But I've never asked this witness any of those questions. I think it's proper cross-examination.
And further, I would note that it's not just about that. As indicated before, this is something the court has sustained when the people were asking questions on direct with other witnesses. Further, he's asking her questions. This is not her property. She doesn't have personal knowledge. She's having to speculate as to what this is, what it means, what she believes it's doing, and that's not proper for her to speculate on this either.
I didn't ask you.
What about his response to this is cross-examination?
Well, that's why I was saying the court has found on direct examination that the pictures speak for themselves, that we are not to go into asking the witnesses the details about the property because the pictures speak for themselves on his objection. So there's no reason why on cross-examination he can ask something that the people were prohibited from asking on direct.
All right, so you're saying there's no exception for this just because he's conducting cross-examination?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that would not be, then that would open the door for us to recalling witnesses and asking them questions that we were prohibited from asking on direct with regard to the pictures, because as defense counsel had said, they speak for themselves.
And sir, you said you are trying to build a foundation at
That's
this time?
accurate, Judge.
Because the court is going to rule that her describing what's in the pictures do speak for themselves. So you need to get to that foundation quickly. Sustain.
I need to take the pictures back. Okay? Thank you.
If it please the court, can I ask you a question?
No, they won't let you do that. And they just told me I can't ask any more questions on this, so let's get to a different area, okay? All
Any
right.
more questions describing
Yeah.
what's in the picture?
Yes.
That's what the court said. That's the rule.
Okay.
During the time frame that you told us you had seen the puppies on the street, had you also seen the puppies in this area that you call the run, or what did you call it?
The pen.
The pen.
No, as a matter of fact, the puppies, they were small where they actually came out of the yard. So
Okay.
they
But
were
when I asked you when you would see them, would you see them also in the pen?
on occasion.
Okay. Now, did I understand you to say that when you heard this commotion, the first thing that came to your mind was that someone had gotten robbed?
Yes.
That's a concern in that neighborhood, isn't it?
No, it really isn't.
Oh, okay. So why was it that your first impression someone had gotten robbed?
She was sitting on the ground,
Okay.
and that was like the only thing. It was never that one of our babies had gotten attacked
Okay.
by a dog.
But your first impression was somebody got robbed?
Someone, yes.
Okay.
As you know, it could happen in any city, any area.
Okay. You had indicated that you had personally had never had any issues with the dogs. Is that correct?
Right, not chasing me.
Okay. And you indicated that the incident regarding the sticks was in the midsummer, and I think you said it would have been in the month of what?
Right about August.
August. And that at that time you said that your children picked up the sticks?
Yes.
You didn't instruct your children to pick up sticks, did you?
No, they did it on their own.
They did on their own, okay. Did you observe them do anything with the sticks as they approached the dogs or on the fence or any portion of the property?
No, they would walk with the sticks for protection.
Okay. The dogs never bit or did anything to your children, did they?
They only chased them.
Okay.
And I'm using it loosely only.
All right, and that would be the puppies, is that right?
Yes,
Okay. In your mind, they were puppies. They're little dogs, right?
exactly.
Okay. Chasing them and wagging their tail, is that right?
I can't say wagon. That's in my imagination, yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would
So-
strike the portion of anything that in her imagination, because that's not relevant and not proper.
Yeah, it kind of, that wasn't clear to me, so were they wagging their tails or no, or you were just imagining them wagging their tails because they were puppies?
Yeah, only because you said friendly little puppies, and that's about the only way a puppy will wag. But when you hear your kids telling you that the dogs are chasing them, a little puppy wagging their tail is not what comes to mind. So
Okay, so that's not true. Well, we need you to say what you saw.
okay,
That's what we need.
all right.
So can we strike the portion about what she saw in her imagination?
Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
stricken. And I'm sure you want to know too, sir, what did she see actually when the dogs were chasing, when the puppies were chasing her, correct? Of course you know I don't want to, this is your case, sir. You're a defendant, but for the record, we need to know what you saw, if you saw anything.
Right.
I guess the critical question is, the puppies never bit your children,
No, they haven't.
okay? Did you ever, at any time, bring it to the attention of the owner of the puppies, that the puppies were outside chasing your kids?
No, outside from the
Hold on a second,
no,
it's just a yes or no answer.
no,
So you never had any discussions with the homeowner regarding the puppies chasing your kids?
no, I haven't.
Did you ever at any time leave a note in the mailbox saying, look, your puppies are out chasing my kids?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Did you ever file a complaint with the animal control people about these puppies chasing your children?
No,
Did you ever call the police to make a report that these dogs, these little puppies were chasing your children?
no.
Now, I'm interested in giving us the name of the individual that cuts your lawn. What is that person's name?
Oh, wow. And that's something they all use pet names or nicknames, if you will. So I can't even tell you what his name is.
Do you have a nickname?
Oh. Okay. I don't remember because it actually came by referral, and I don't remember his name. I really don't.
Did he work for a company?
No, just the individual on the block.
Do you know where he lives?
No. The only thing I've actually, in talking